The year is 2017, and we're just gonna completely ignore the fact that I haven't uploaded since 2021, okay, Steven? Get out of the f***ing car. So yes, the year is 2017, and while all the little weebs that you avoided in high school are gearing up for the summer anime season, 19-year-old Jakey was currently watching his first anime of all time, aka Your Name, which I did make a video about, so please go watch it. Okay, enough with the hair. We're 30 seconds in, enough with the hair.
Okay.
All in all, this single piece of cinematic perfection is what launched my love for the great art of anime. Immediately after seeing Your Name, I felt this sudden urge to consume as much of the medium as my tiny monkey dum-dum brain could possibly contain. In one sitting, I watched Mamoru Hosoda's The Boy and the Beast, Perfect Blue, and I began my binge of the hit shonen series Death Note. It was immaculate. It was amazing. I love it here. Then something. Maybe a couple shows like High School DxD later, boom! Attack on Titan was entering its second season in 2017, and if you were watching anime in 2017, this is pretty much all anybody was talking about. The show had crossed my radar because a friend of mine back in 2013 when the show started had recommended it to me. And I use the term friend lightly because back in 2013, when Jakey heard of somebody watching anime, my mind pretty much went to somebody that looks like this. But alas, 4 years later, Attack on Titan was entering its second season, and I thought it would be the perfect time to jump on board, and so I did just that. And what can I say? It was immaculate, it was amazing, and I love it here. I love it here. Attack on Titan was such an insane show right from the jump. We're talking the first episode. You had these people, they lived inside these walls to protect themselves from these giant humanoid man-eating monster things. Just imagine the Iron Giant if the Iron Giant was evil and there was 400 of them. The good news is that none of these Titans are strong enough to break through the walls that the humans have built. Then boom, out of nowhere, this giant Jumbo Mumbo Titan smashes a hole in the wall, and all the little Titans enter and begin to feast. And this is where we see our main protagonist's mother get devoured by one of these Titans. This is how you establish tone, conflict, atmosphere, and an easy journey for our audience to latch onto so that we can follow our characters. And the anime just kept getting crazier. It kept building and building for those first few episodes. Eren swears on his mother's life that he will kill every last Titan, joins the military, and by episode 5, our main character, our boy that we love and want to protect, gets eaten alive by the enemy he swore to destroy. What the fuck? Then we switch to, I guess, our new protagonist, Mikasa Ackerman, and 2 episodes later, is she about to get eaten too? But in a last-second effort, right before Mikasa is eaten, it's actually a Titan that saves Mikasa, and it turns out that that very Titan that saved her is the main character of the show, Eren Yeager himself. Oh my god! So Eren survives, all the characters are together, and we go on this crazy journey with all of them. Eren, Armin, Mikasa, Annie, who is also revealed to be a Titan. That was such a crazy twist. Connie, Jean, Sasha, Amir, who is also revealed to be a Titan. Okay. Levi, Erwin, Hanji, and Bertolt, who is also revealed to be a Titan. Marco, Hitch, Marlo, Rhino, who's also okay. Doesn't this guy know you can't just use the same plot twist over and over again? Here, I'm about to hit y'all with a plot twist. When I finished Season 2 of Attack on Titan back in 2017, I thought this was the stupidest that I had ever seen. I completely dropped the show, never to return to it again. I felt like the series betrayed everything I had learned about crafting a cohesive narrative. Characters say and do things without giving a concrete motivation. In Season 2, Episode 6, Rhino, a character who has hardly been relevant throughout the entire story, but a character that Eren does see as some sort of comrade and maybe even a big brother type of figure, says this line.
Why are you telling him? Rhino, no!
We were on a mission. Our goal was to ensure mankind's extinction.
You're telling me that you've been living with these people, training with them to be in the military, treated them as brothers, loved them, and then out of the blue, you're the guy that did the thing at the beginning of the show. And you coulda, if your objective was to kill all the humans, you had every chance to do it, but instead of doing it, you decide, oh, I'm just gonna secretly tell Eren because I want it to be a grand reveal. It's just like, no. There are 2 rules that I follow whenever writing a story. Show, don't tell, which I talked about in my Squid Game video from last week because I upload weekly. And most importantly, don't write and then stories. Write therefore stories. Now, what does this mean? Cause and effect. Every action needs a reaction. Have you ever been at a party or something and somebody was telling you a story and they were just like, and then I went to my mom's house, and then we had a snack, and then we went to go see a movie. And then, dude, what happened of interest? Tell me, did somebody show up in the theater with a gun? Attack on Titan post, episode 8 was just a series of things happening. In the first episode, we see Eren's mother get eaten by a Titan. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have a lot in common with Eren. My mom hasn't been eaten by a Titan yet. But I do assume when the day comes, I'm going to have a similar reaction to what Eren experienced. And it's a very compelling story from the beginning, because this kid, he lives in these walls and he wants to experience freedom, but he can't, because the government, his parents, everyone's keeping him inside the walls. So there's only one way that he can break out. If he joins the Scouts, if he joins the Survey Corps, he's going to be risking his life to defeat the Titans, but at least he's going to experience what life is like outside the walls. It's all about freedom. And then, wouldn't you know, 5 episodes later, this vengeful child gets eaten by Titans. And I don't mean for this to sound like a pun, but he literally bit off a little bit more than he could chew. There's absolutely no reason that a 14-year-old kid should be fighting giant humanoid Titans. And realistically, most of them die in the show. Because what kind of 14-year-old could do this shit? The cause? Colossal Titan showing up, destroying the wall, Titans coming in, mother gets eaten. Effect? Eren gets anger problems, joins the military, gets killed. Cause? Effect. When Rhino Braun says vague shit like, I was sent here to destroy humanity, it gave me the sense that Hajime Isayama, the creator of Attack on Titan, had no idea where the story was going, and he was just throwing twists and random shock factor at the walls and seeing what stuck. Because let's be honest, the only twists we really get in the first 2 seasons are, this person's a Titan, this person's a Titan, I'm Oprah Winfrey and I'm handing out Titan abilities. And they just keep doing it over and over. Red Rover, send good plot twists over. I stole that joke from Nikki Jakey, I'm sorry. The fact that people were surprised by this twist, I see it online all the time, reacting to Season 2, Episode 6 of Attack on Titan. Oh my god, Rhino's a Titan, everybody in the show's a Titan. This isn't a new revelation that you weren't expecting. This is just chaotic storytelling. Where's the cause? Where's the effect? Why is Reiner sent here to destroy humanity? You don't get to know. Why are we recycling plot twists over and over again? Why at the end of Season 2 was Eren inexplicably able to control all the Titans? And we're done. I dropped Attack on Titan after Season 2 had aired, and I pretty much never looked back. And 3 to 4 years later, everyone was gearing up for the final season of Attack on Titan, Season 4, and I still did not budge. But the crazy thing is that Attack on Titan arguably is what brought anime into the mainstream in America. Sure, people had been watching it for years before Attack on Titan, but just look at it now. Back when I was in high school, just, 6-7 years ago, if you watched anime, you were a nerd. Like, you were a nerd. And if you don't watch it now, you're kind of the nerd, dude. And yet, despite this, I still did not hop back on board with Attack on Titan because I knew it was just going to be the same thing over and over again. Absolutely no cause and effect storytelling, no cohesive narrative, and everybody else could enjoy it, but I was going to enjoy my shows like Dragon Ball, Quintessential Quintuplets, My Hero Academia, and then I developed just the tiniest bit of FOMO. Attack on Titan Season 3 is...
My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream out! My soldiers rage!
Is it done? Okay. Attack on Titan Season 3 is one of the most exciting... Okay. I guess I'll just skip to season 4. I guess I'm not allowed to talk about season 3. Attack on Titan season... My leg! Jesus Christ. I don't know how, I don't know when it happened, but there was a point in Attack on Titan Season 3 where I strongly had to consider where this show was going to go on my best anime of all time. Turns out I had been watching the show completely wrong from the beginning, which I do sort of blame Isayama for. Attack on Titan just started so nuts to butts. It was all action, all craziness and twists, but it actually has a lot more in common with a mystery thriller show. I believe a big reason why Season 3 is so highly regarded by everyone that loves the show, and myself included, is because this is the season where we finally get a lot of the answers to our burning questions. We still don't get to figure out exactly why Rhino wants to destroy all of humanity, or why there's 100,000 Titans inside the walls that the people have been living in, but the fact that Attack on Titan started to answer some questions is what gave me hope that this series did have a future. Here's an example for the uninitiated who are now completely spoiled. There's a dilemma in the second season of Attack on Titan that I just didn't really latch on to. At some point the Titans break into the second wall. Because remember, in the first season they break into the first wall. That's the first episode. In season 2 they break into the second wall. So the military has all the scouts and the garrison. They all get together and they go scan the perimeter, see where the Titans broke into. Turns out there wasn't a hole at all. So how did the Titans get into the walls in the first place? In season 2 we're introduced to a new Titan, the Beast Titan. Later in season 3, we see the Beast Titan scream, and whenever he screams, the humans around him somehow transform into Titans. And when you go back to season 2, and you see that there's Titans inside the walls, even though there's no hole, but you see the Beast Titan walking around, your mind will freaking explode. It's stuff like that that gave me hope that my questions would be answered. And not only were my questions answered, but questions I didn't even know I had were answered. I understand right now I am not really talking about what specifically makes the show good, and I'm more gushing, but that's really all I can do in this type of video. One of my favorite YouTubers, Totally Not Mark, did a 3-hour deep dive covering a lot of the themes and story beats of Attack on Titan, and there's still so much that he skipped over that I wanted to hear him talk about. But at the end of the day, all I can really do is give you my feelings on the series and how I perceive it now versus how I saw it back when I first started watching it. And yes, maybe the title is a little bit clickbaity, but I do genuinely think that Attack on Titan in certain ways changed my life. It definitely changed how I see certain things. It definitely taught me a lot of lessons, not least of which, how to handle that feeling you get when you finally achieve something you've always wanted and all you feel is disappointment. The show also taught me not to judge people or jump to conclusions so quickly. A little bit random, but I promise it will tie back into the video. Daryl Davis. This dude is one of my favorite people alive, and I love hearing him talk about what he's done throughout his life. To me, he is one of the most intelligent and philosophical people alive today, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't know him, or maybe you do and you don't really know exactly why I'm bringing him up, but Daryl Davis has made more people defect from the clan than anyone else in history. And when I say clan, I mean, you know, that clan. But let's bring up the elephant in the room. Daryl Davis is a black man. So how does a black man make white people defect from the clan when white people join the clan to kill and discriminate against people like Daryl? And every time I hear him talk about this, he always says the same thing. He doesn't jump to conclusions. He has a conversation with a person. He doesn't see the other person as a monster. He wants to understand and learn the root of how this person developed their hate and developed these discriminatory views. And then from there, he can educate them. Because one of my favorite quotes from him is that the cure for ignorance is education.
We all became fearful and accusatory of one another. Thus, ignorance breeds fear. We fear those things we do not understand. If we do not keep that fear in check, that fear in turn will breed hatred, because we hate those things that frighten us. If we do not keep that hatred in check, that hatred in turn will breed destruction. We want to destroy those things that we hate. Why? Because they cause us to be afraid.
We didn't recognize it at the time. Or maybe we refused to let ourselves accept it.
We never really stopped to ask why people think or do things the way they do. Just like I never stopped to ask why Rhino said what he said back in season 2 when he wanted to destroy all of humanity. I just thought it was stupid and I turned off the TV. But what I didn't know is that by the final season of Attack on Titan, Rhino Braun would go on to be probably my favorite character in all of fiction. He's someone that we don't know anything about, but the first thing we really learn about him is that he wants to destroy humanity. Or maybe he doesn't want to, but he was told that he has to. And he starts doing these things that just get in the way of our hero's goals, and so we begin to hate him. He begins to try to kill all the characters that we've loved throughout the show, and then you find out that he was essentially brainwashed and forced to do this, and he did love all of the characters that we've been with. He loved them so much that he developed a split personality disorder to where he didn't know who he actually was. Was he Aaron's comrade, or was he sent inside the walls to destroy everyone? This character had been beaten down so much and gone through so much crap and so much brainwashing that there's a point where I thought he was going to end it all, but I was sitting there just hoping and praying that Rhino found something to fight for. And it's such a unique situation because we have this main character, Aaron, that I talked about, who after episode 1, after watching his mother get eaten, develops such a rageful persona, and it only grows and grows throughout the show to where not only does he want to destroy Titans, he wants to destroy people that are opposing him. And despite the fact that Rhino was sent inside the walls to destroy humanity, he never actually wanted to do that. We just called him the villain because that's what he told us he was going to do. At the end of the show, where we are right now, Rhino, the antagonist, has become the hero. And Aaron, the protagonist, has become the villain. Attack on Titan has made me question so many things in real life regarding morality, mortality, politics, and I don't actually think it's too far off from what we're going through right now in the real world. There's a discussion between two characters in the final season, Gabby Braun, who is Rhino's cousin, and Kaya Blouse, and the two are arguing about owning up to the sins of their ancestors. Both Kaya and Gabby are from the same Eldian race. However, Gabby comes from a place where she was taught to submit to every other race around the world because it was actually the Eldians who were the oppressors so many years ago. So Gabby Braun sees being treated as a slave as atonement for what her ancestors did so many years ago. However, Kaya sees it in a different light. Kaya thinks that she shouldn't hold any guilt in her soul for a history she was never a part of. I won't share my specific views on this situation because I feel like I would just piss off everyone, but I do think that if everyone followed Gabby's mentality where we should submit to atone for our ancestors' sins, it would open up an avenue for other races to be oppressed without any consequence. And Kaya's mentality is a bit more risky. She's trusting her enemies to see her as she is, an Eldian. A race that at one point did some terrible things in the world, but she's trusting her enemies to recognize that she had no place in that history of bloodshed. Again, I will not share my views on this situation, but eventually the show does tell you that Kaya is the correct one in this situation because it is actually Gabby who realizes that if she continues to submit to oppression, it will create a never-ending cycle of one race trying to oppress the other. The themes in this show run far deeper than almost any other show I've seen. Heroes you swear allegiance to will succumb to evil, villains you hate with every fiber in your body will rise to the occasion, characters you love will perish, and aspects of what you loved about them will be carried over to other characters. When Erwin Smith rode to his death in Perfect Game, his spirit lived on into characters, Armin and Flock. And that's why there's so much debate within the community because we're always trying to figure out who is correct. Who is the rightful successor to carry on our forefathers' commands? Personally, to me, I believe everything cruel and reckless about Erwin was passed on to Flock, and everything righteous and wholesome about Erwin was passed on to Armin. But then I see edits like this.
The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen. Their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them. And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us. Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world. My soldiers push forward. My soldiers scream out. My soldiers rage!
And it just makes me realize that yes, Flock at points may be some kind of Hitler bitch, but the whole way through, it totally makes sense how he ended up like this. You really cannot judge a person until you understand their circumstances. In my Ruby video, I stated that there is not a single film or TV series or really any piece of art that is absolutely for everyone. And while that still holds true with Attack on Titan, you gotta give it a try. Like, I know I just spoiled like the whole freaking show, but if you haven't seen it and you're still here, please. And Mom, if Ice Cube's son can get his parents to watch it, I'm just saying. And I know I bashed this show at the beginning, but I swear to you, Attack on Titan hasn't just become one of my favorite anime ever. It's not my favorite anime ever. It's not my favorite show ever. Attack on Titan, it's just my favorite story.